Emmett Johnson can run the football at this level, at least for one game. And Cyrus Allen is the greatest rookie wide receiver I've ever seen in my life.
In your life?
Okay, there's a little bit of sauce
all
on
right,
that.
All right, we're riding the hype train, but I was double checking. But
it's like, what qualifiers are coming? Because like 2026, post second round receiver, there's got to be something coming here.
No, he's the greatest receiver. He's the answer to all their problems. I don't know what people want me to say other than I don't. If it was up to me, and it's not. I know he's going to play more. I see the way he already works with Mahomes, and I know fans can't see that unless they're at training camp, where I'm just like, cool, keep doing it. But like, it's fun to know that he's good.
Coach Reed gave that up early on. He said he sees football the way Pat sees football, or whatever. Pat has trusted him, something like that.
Yeah,
which is coach speak for. He and the quarterback have a connection. You're going to see a lot more of him.
Yes.
That was the biggest takeaway from like the pre-padded practice, that Pat has trust in him, and that's pretty rare for really any first-year receiver, let alone where he was drafted.
Yeah,
well, that's what.
Go ahead, Cole. Sorry.
I was going to say that's one of those things where when you talk, you just think back to other receivers. Like Sky Moore was always like a tick off with Mahomes. It was like so many passes is like almost to his fingertips or almost hauled it in. But now with Cyrus, the reports are, I mean, he's just hauling it in, and it's becoming more of a consistent thing day in and day out. So obviously pretty excited about that, but Mitch, feel free to bounce back off that thought.
Yeah. I mean, I think for receiver, especially, there's such a feel component to this offense and the way Pat like sees and feels the game. That's why whenever anyone talks about he and Kelsey, like what's their greatest strength is seeing the game the same way. Like we've seen it now with NFL films that like Travis is supposed to run an out-breaking route, and Pat throws the in-breaking route before Travis has broken it off because he just knows Travis is seeing and feeling the same thing. He's going to go to the open space. Well, it's kind of hard to play that way with one guy and then just like do it by the book to all the others. Like there's an element of Pat's game that just it's feel, it's anticipation. Yeah. You could go back to, was it last year maybe or 2 years ago, the Bengals game where you get the DB who we don't like, who's talking a lot of smack, and you get him one-on-one on the outside, and let's go take a shot on him, and throws a ball to Xavier. Xavier kind of gets pushed off the red line, doesn't really go up for it. The guy picks it off.
Like that would be Mr. Taylor Britt, if I remember correctly. Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were allowed to say his name.
Okay, sorry.
No, but so that's one of those that's like, is he seeing the game the same way? Is that necessarily supposed to go to him? Is that the first read? I don't know, but it's one-on-one coverage. This guy's talking a lot of smack, and we're gonna go take our shot. And the receiver didn't necessarily see it the same way. And I think after the game, there were some other plays too that game the coach Reed talked about. Like he's not going and being aggressive on the football when he needs to be. And he's been a guy that's always kind of been this way. Last year, Thornton, way better on the deep ball than with Mahomes than X. So like, we, to your point, like we have seen this, that there are certain guys that see the game the same way. They can react more in the moment. They kind of meld more with what Pat's thinking. They can break off routes where they need to, find open space. And it just seems like Cyrus is already on that same page. And again, the ability to defeat man coverage and be a guy that Pat can trust, that is almost immeasurable if he's as good or 80% as good as we kind of think he's trending.
I made a mistake today, Nate, and then feel free to carry on this thought. I made a mistake of watching Cyrus Allen's highlights from last year. I made a mistake because I'm all juiced up now.
Look.
Like he's catching balls down the field. Like, ball tracking like way deep. Like he was doing so much. It's college, but he was doing so much in that offense. I was like, okay, this is crazy. And then
and nothing seems out of character, right? There's plays in college, and I think we get sort of mesmerized by this, and it's understandable, but guys making incredible catches, and you're like, that won't translate against the best DBs on the planet. Like it just normally won't, unless you have like just truly one-of-one athletic gifts. I think a lot of what Cyrus showed at the college level was not only an understanding, but I mean, this is the funny thing that when I went through the research, was like, oh, well, like who was Cincinnati's quarterback last year? And like, it was that guy, the Sorsby guy that was gamble. Okay, beyond the gambling issues, but they had only gotten to know each other for like a few months before last season started. So Cyrus transfers, who's my quarterback, who am I working with? And like they built a legitimate like connection over one season in college to where all of a sudden Sorsby's essentially one of the most sought after quarterbacks staying in college. And Cyrus Allen takes all of that information and says, okay, if I can do this with this level of quarterback, now you give me Mahomes, all of a sudden I can start to envision what exactly he wants, being attentive. He's so quick in and out of breaks. I think that's still what surprises Noel Williams at times. I think Noel says, oh, well, this doesn't look like anybody else that I'm going up against at practice. How is he behind me again? You know, he kind of has those, you can tell from the body language, he kind of has those moments of like, how did he just do that? And I don't know if you saw this clip, Cole, but it's in the All 22. If you're a maniac like me and Mitch are, I remember seeing it live Saturday in the press box, and it made me the most giddy. The play's pretty much dead on arrival. They're on the plus side of the field. Garrett Nussmeier is like, crap, nobody's open. And before he can basically say, crap, nobody's open, Cyrus is already breaking off his route and shading to, I believe, from my vantage point, from like his left to his right, sees the opening in like the Rams sort of, you know, shallow zone coverage. And I'm like, you would only do that because you've been doing this with Pat so much. The difference is ball's not going to be there on time the same way it's going to be with Patrick. So in my mind, I'm like, well, if Patrick was out there, to Mitch's point, oh my goodness, he's starting to see it like Patrick would see it. And this is the first preseason game, right? This isn't like week 6 or 7 in the regular season. So I'm giddy about the fact that he is such a sure-handed receiver, and he's already starting to learn like that advanced part of the game of like seeing it the way the quarterback sees it when, I'm stuck. I'm in between two defenders. What is the pass concept? Oh, there should be space that way. And oh, look, there's space. And by the way, I'm wide open. Like I'm open, you know. Nussmeier didn't throw the ball probably the way he wanted to, and so it got knocked down. But it was probably the best highlight he had of the entire game, even though he didn't have a catch.
I was going to ask you if it was that specific play, because as you were saying it, it was when it ended up getting knocked down, but I didn't know if Nuss just needed to put a little bit more air over the top of it and kind of sail it over. But if so, I mean, that's a touchdown, and Chiefs Kingdom is obviously losing their mind. So there was several flashes that I really liked. We got a lot more to talk about tonight in today's episode, but a housekeeping note real quick for everybody.